That transition wasn't as good today. Woo! 9 a.m. Actually, 8:59 a.m. Woo! See if we can get it going here on this Monday morning. Bitcoin hits $90,000. $90,000. We were doing a watch party. Was it a few? Was it last week? Right, last week we did a watch party. Was it Tuesday? We're a little bit early. We were a little bit early. It was possible. I didn't think it was going to hit it on that day or Thursday or yeah, I think it was Thursday. I didn't think it was going to hit it on Thursday. It was possible, and then of course today it went below $90,000 for a brief moment, and all the perma bulls on the X app are already calling for reversals on the 5 minute chart, the 1 hour chart, and they just whatever they can find as a positive to go in their direction that they want. Unfortunately, it doesn't always go in our favor, but the signs were there. The early signs were there. But before we get too far down the rabbit hole, if you're new to the channel, awesome, welcome. And if you're returning, thank you, even better. Help me with the algorithm by smashing the like button, smashing the repost button, sharing it with people, and of course, commenting as well. First half of the live stream, we're going to go through probably a lot of charts. Not going to lie, I'm pretty tired today. I was up with the baby at 4 a.m. No, the wife was, but I was up also. No, what? Let's retrace. The wife was up with the baby at 2:30. I woke up as well, and then I couldn't go back to sleep till 4 a.m. That's the real story. And then I was up with the baby at 6 a.m. Right, so 6 a.m. and the nanny came at 7:30. Then I have to walk the dog. Blah 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 blah. Here we are. We'll try to get in the flow though. We'll try to get in the flow. Bitcoin hits $90,000. But good morning. Robbie, can you check on MPL or CLV for Coinbase today? Okay. So MPL, choose one of them. So MPL on the Coinbase exchange, that's what you want? You got it. Just let me know. Matthew, sup? We going to 88K. Well, that would be target 2, right? Target 2 is right around $88,000. So the probabilities continue to increase. So yeah, probably. Bitcoin hits $90,000, $90,000 watch point. So one of the things I dislike, I don't know why it gets to me, but probably just because I've been seeing it for so long on the Twitter X app since I started posting charts early 2021. Basically, almost 4 years ago, I started posting charts, and it was as I predicted, right? As I predicted. Well, there were a lot of early signs that there could be a Bitcoin reversal, which we've talked about and covered every single live stream, which we've talked about and posted on every single chart. There are early signs, but there's never a guarantee, right? But then the signs get louder and the probabilities continue to increase. And then the signs get louder. And then you find out who is really late to the party on a reversal, right? You find out who is really late. Over the past three or 4 days, I've been posting a lot about a couple weeks ago, it was the 3-day MACD bearish crossover. 3 to 4 days ago is the 5-day MACD bearish crossover. So you're still thinking it's, excuse me, you're still thinking, buy the dip, up only, buy the dip, up only. And then while I'm seeing the 5-day chart on the MACD, yes, the MACD is a lagging indicator. Yes, the MACD has a lot of fake outs. Yes, the MACD is very lagging on the 5-day chart. But imagine not paying attention to a 5-day MACD bearish crossover and calling for bullish momentum to the upside. That's why I talk about being late, right? And I'm not going to call any names. You've probably seen plenty of them. But just imagine if they didn't take profits near the top in 2021 and they're still posting bullish charts over the last couple of weeks, uh, last week, right? Even the last 5 days, uh, they probably didn't take profits at the top this time either. Whether this is the top or not, we don't know for sure, but it's definitely a local top. So if you're not taking profits at a local top, how are you going to take profits at the top? Because the local top starts as a local top and then it turns into the top, right? And every time the top is slightly different. So if you're not taking profits, if you're in a short, you're not taking profits at the local bottom, or if you're in a long and you're not taking profits at the local top, then how do you know if it's the bottom or the local or the bottom or the top, right? So the top, the top. So that's why I remain neutral. That's why I'm not a perma bull or a perma bear. People are talking about my bearish charts and that I'm so bearish. I just post the charts, and the charts are showing bearishness, right? So you can call me a bear, you can call me a bull, whatever. When the charts are bullish, I post those bullish charts, and everyone's happy. Right? When the charts are bearish, I post bearish, and the bulls are not happy. Right? There will be a few bears celebrating, whatever. Right? But overall. So this is Bitcoin. $91,436. We got a lot of charts to get through. We're not going to spend as much time on Bitcoin as we have in the past. And we'll take a look at some of the altcoins, the NASDAQ breaking down as well. And this is one of the things I talked about weeks ago. If no matter what the cycle is doing, right? The cycle. Oh, you don't follow the cycle, Jesse? You don't follow the cycle? I follow the cycle. But to me, what weighs more heavily on the Bitcoin cycle is what are the indices doing? What are the overall stock market doing, right? If the Nasdaq's going through a 30% correction in the bullish cycle, hence early 2020 for Bitcoin, price from wick to wick dropped 72% for Bitcoin. 72% while it was in the bullish cycle, right? So if the Nasdaq's going through a bigger correction, if the SP 500 is going through a bigger correction, I expect no matter what time of the cycle it is or the time of the month, we'll leave that joke there. Caesar, good afternoon. Good afternoon. Welcome back. Good afternoon. Welcome back, my man. Good to see you back. Good to see you back. No matter what time it is in the bull cycle, bear cycle, if the Nasdaq is correcting majorly, and we don't know if it'll turn into something bigger or not, right? If the SP 500 is correcting, if these Magnificent Seven stocks are correcting, then I look at Bitcoin as a technology, right? More like a tech stock. It's not a tech stock, obviously, but it's technology. And so when technology is going through a correction after major pumps, I would expect Bitcoin to also go through a bigger correction than even the NASDAQ. It's still speculative, especially with leverage. It's, long term, you could say long term, you could say over the years, it's been a store of value compared to the dollar. But that depends on when you bought it. If you buy it at $108,000, it's not a store of value for 3 years, right? It took a while for if people bought $65,000 Bitcoin in 2021 and never sold it. It took until when was the high reached again? Let's see, 65,000, 2024, right? So nearly 3 years to get back to break even, and then 3.5 years to be profitable, and then here we are, right? So that's why I prefer to buy and sell because we never know when the top is happening. We just know the local top in hindsight becomes the top in hindsight, and it's so obvious, right? It's so obvious. But here we are watching it in real time play out. We had the bearish divergence. Price is overbought. These were the early signs. There is additional bearish divergence overbought on this candle only here. I think, and then we had the reversal candle here. So you had the overbought. We had the after a major pump too. This is a massive move. Like if you take this move from this wick pivot low to this wick pivot high, that's 120% in a short period of time. We're talking about a couple of months, right? So to say it was overdue for a correction, it was overdue for a correction and can remain that way, right? It was overbought, 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 bearish divergence, overbought again, reversal candle. It's not 100% accurate where you have divergence followed by a reversal candle, but it's a high probability that at least a local top is coming. The higher probability is a lower high, right? So now you have a lower high and you get this candle close over here below. I already had the candle close over here. I pointed out 1, 2, 3, 4, but now you get another one over here. The probabilities continue to increase on Bitcoin of price hitting target 2. And like I said, it's already gone to what 89,000. Well, I don't even know. What was it? 89,250-ish, right? 89,250-ish. Yeah, every wick is the bottom, right? With the perma bulls, bottom is in, 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 bottom is in. I'm more about the candle closes, right? Yes, the wicks can tell you something, but also the candle closes, in my opinion, my own personal opinion. Obviously, none of this financial advice. Obviously, this is for educational purposes only, and hopefully, we find some entertainment along the way. Grant Matterson, good morning, long time market sniper. Grant, you don't have to answer this question, but he's been in the Discord since day one. Give me a thumbs up. Did you ride this wave and did you go to cash at any moment, or if you want to expand on that, let me know. I'm curious. Some of the other longtime market snipers in your country, Australia. By the way, if you need real estate, oh, mic check. Just accidentally tapped it. If you need real estate in Grant's area of Australia, I can't remember. I think it was the Golden Coast. Grant, let me know. Grant's your guy. Grant's your guy. I've seen he works diligently, right? He's got a lot of common sense. So, and he hustles hard. He swims in the mornings. Just overall, like everything I see from Grant over the years, I like. I think that would translate over to real estate because I was in real estate and mortgage for 17 years, and I think Grant probably does a good job over there in real estate. So if you're in Australia, I think it's the Golden Coast. Maybe you can correct me, Grant, but look up Grant for your real estate needs over there. Long time market sniper. Anyways, let me know what your position is right now on Bitcoin. I'd be interested to hear from another long time market sniper. With that, yeah, so it's breaking down. A candle close below this pivot again. A candle close below this candle over here. I mean, the probabilities just continue to increase. We're so close to this. Of course, there's going to be bounces along the way, especially on a lower time frame, whether it's the 1 hour chart, the 5-minute chart, whatever. You could find a million different bullish divergences, whether it's the 1 minute chart, the 5-minute chart, the 1 hour chart, 30-minute chart, blah, 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 blah. This is the daily chart. This is the daily chart. So that's what we're looking at. Will this head and shoulders play out? Maybe. You know my thoughts about patterns, but I'm leaving it on for now because it'll be interesting. Do I think it gets hit in the straight line? No. Has it been a straight line? No. But there is a lot of confluence and a lot of reasons why target 3 and target 4 could get hit. And the head and shoulders free indicator on TradingView is somewhere right in the middle of target 3 and target 4. So it makes sense to me, and that's why I have it on there still. But I don't use it for trading. I don't use it to make it for business decisions. But I'm going to leave it on there. I'm going to leave it on there. Then if we go over to the MACD, right? We talked about it. We covered it. Even back here, I was pointing out that we had another bearish MACD crossover on the daily chart, right? Fake out to the upside. Probably put in that that additional divergence, not only on RSI, but also on the MACD, right? So there was bearish divergence on RSI, and there was bearish divergence on the MACD. So a quick fake out to the upside. And after all this divergence, trending down, why not another fake out? But this time price puts in a lower high and then crosses back over negative here and goes back below the zero line, which is another bearish milestone. So just imagine the MACD is crossing back over below the zero line, and the perma bulls since last week are still calling for major bounces to 125,000, 140,000. Could it get there at some point? Sure. But the trend is down right now. The trend is down right now. So that's the daily chart. And then I covered the 3-day chart, right? The 3-day chart back here talked about had a pending reversal candle back on December 20th. So it started with the bearish divergence on the daily chart, whether it's RSI or the MACD and or both. Then there's a reverse candle. Then price dropped down, hit target 1. Then you start seeing the 3-day on December 20th, 3-day pending MACD crossover. We covered it. Then we start seeing the 5-day, right? Then the 5-day chart had a pending MACD bearish crossover last week, right? I posted the pending MACD crossover. So it's not the hindsight crew. It's not the hindsight crew. And this is what the arrow was, right? The arrow was pointing out that we had the histogram decreasing while the MACD was topping out. And that's also divergence, right? Just like back here. And so that's why I shouldn't have erased the arrow, but I did. So decreasing crossover, decreasing crossover. Yes, this one was only a 22% correction. Yes, thank you for people who pointed that out. I'm aware of it. So that's the 5-day chart. How's the weekly chart looking? Hasn't crossed over yet. It's very lagging because it's a weekly chart, but it is decreasing on the histogram. It is decreasing on the histogram. So whether it's this week or next week, it's starting to look like there's going to be a crossover on the weekly chart as well. But again, it is lagging. And it doesn't mean that there couldn't be a short-term bounce once it's already crossed, right? Since it is lagging. So there we are. It doesn't happen very often. And you can see all the way back here in September, the bullish crossover and getting back above the zero line helped create the opportunity of that large pump, right? That large pump. So it was also to the upside, right? So you had the MACD bullish crossover on the 5-day. I think a lot of these crypto accounts with large followings would probably do better just with their own 5-day MACD bullish and bearish crossovers, to be honest, right? Just to be honest, because some of them never sell and they become some of them are hodlers for a reason, and they just use it as a savings account, and that's their plan. And they've probably been doing that for years, and they're probably fine with that. They're probably good. But most of them become forced hodlers, and you never want to be forced into a position holding, because what if that position turns out to be 3 years? What if that position turns out to be 17 years? Like the NASDAQ in the dot-com bubble, the NASDAQ.com bubble of 2001, if you didn't sell the top, I think it took 15 or 17 years to get back to break even. Just think about that for a second. Say you put in $10,000, and after a year and a half, that $10,000 is now $2,000. Never mind inflation. Then the $2,000, yes, it starts to come back, right? But you went from 10,000 to 2,000, right? 17 years later or 15 years later, whatever it was, I'm not going to look it up. It's finally back to $10,000. But that $10,000 with inflation of say 2 to 3%, if it whatever it was back then, maybe it's 5%, your dollar value is nowhere near $10,000. So you have to outpace inflation, and we're kind of forced into the markets. And so you got to outpace inflation, right? Otherwise, your dollar decreases over time. Unless you're making 4 to 5%, maybe you're keeping up with inflation, right? Because we never know the real numbers. A lot of the numbers get adjusted. They may or may not be cooking the books. We don't know. We're not insiders. So we have to outpace inflation. And a lot of people have shown charts on like the SP 500 adjusted for inflation. It's kind of just like keeping up with inflation. So, which means that you would need like 8 or 9% at least per month, per year, year after year. So, but anyways, long story short, this is the 5-day chart, right? And could it reverse right back around like this? Sure. But I think that was the move back here, pumped up, came all the way back down. One more big pump up like that. And it is possible. But I think the probabilities are increasing that we're going to go hit target 2, hit target 3, hit target 4. And if that happens, it's going to look more, the MACD is going to look more like this, right? So it's going to take some time to play out. That was a couple of months, right? Before the reverse back around. So if you're looking at it, you've got from this crossover to this crossover over here, you can see from April to September, it took time for it to play out. So at the very least, I'm expecting it to play out like, at least for it to reset maybe 3 to 4 months, right? So call it what you want. Could be a local top, could be the top. We don't know yet. Hindsight will be hindsight. And we didn't predict it, right? So you can see here, I'm even pointing out the bearish divergence on the 5-day chart, followed by a reversal candle, right? So target 4 is down there about $70,000, right? So we'll take it level by level, but you can see for the 5-day bearish crossover, 5-day bullish crossover, right? That's why it's not part of my trading strategy. But time-wise, right? Time-wise. So we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. Daily chart. Just below 92,000. So it'll be interesting. You get another close below 92,500 and 92,700. The probabilities are continuing to increase that we're going to hit target 2, which is below that $88,000 area. Target 3 is around just below $80,000, right? And then of course target 4 below 72,000 and right around that $70,000. Just call it $72,000 area, right? So, woo! Should we look at some alts? Ooh, breaking news. I haven't even looked. Ethereum just hit target 4, right? Ethereum just hit target 4. Like several alts have. Started to break back down, had the sell signal, started to look like the lower high. We talked about that. We had a high, we had a lower high, we had another lower high, we had a sell signal. This candle here confirmed this was a lower high with a lower low, and then boom, smashed target 4. Again, Ethereum had bearish divergence. had reverse candles, had overbought conditions. The lower high was a higher probability. Price came all the way down through 3 targets, pumped back up, another lower high, break back down, target 4, right? It's the name of the game. That is the name of the game. So target 4. So you've got MicroStrategy hit 4 out of 4 targets to the downside. And we compared that a long time ago, right? Ethereum has now hit 4 out of 4 targets to the downside. So let's switch gears back. So MicroStrategy, remember we were talking about it when Bitcoin had the reversal candle up here. We did the first, well, it wasn't the first bearish reversal that we were talking about of comparing MicroStrategy, but we also compared MicroStrategy leading the way to the upside when Bitcoin was at 65,000. We said, will Bitcoin follow MicroStrategy to the upside and make a new all-time high? In fact, it did. Bitcoin was at $65,000, and MicroStrategy made a new all-time high again. And then Bitcoin followed MicroStrategy to the upside and made a new all-time high and hit $108,000. Then MicroStrategy had an engulfing bearish candle and a reversal candle on November 21st, and then came down, hit target 3. And then we were pointing out December 18th, nearly a month later, that Bitcoin also had a reverse candle. And will Bitcoin also hit target 3 and or target 4, right? So the probabilities are increasing that we see Bitcoin hit similar targets to MicroStrategy, which would be target 3 and or target 4, right? So continuing to watch that play out in real time. I still didn't say as predicted, right? Still never a guarantee. But what I did post was felt like a cheat code, right? Felt like a cheat code. Felt like a cheat code. Let's see. Did I repost that real quick? How are we doing on likes? 15? Okay, it's getting better. It's getting better. There we go. There we go. Yeah. So this was December 30th. So don't let the Black Swan event people talk about this. It was already $92,000 back then, 2 weeks ago. We continue to watch MicroStrategy lead the way to Bitcoin, not only to the upside, but to the downside. Talked about it 2 weeks ago, exactly 2 weeks ago. So far, MicroStrategy has hit 3 out of 4 targets to the downside, and the probabilities are increasing that the 4th target will be hit. It did. MicroStrategy did hit the 4th target, right? It hasn't closed the gap yet. It's a small gap, but has not hit the gap yet. But it did hit the target 4. So far, BTC has hit 1 out of 4 targets to the downside, and probabilities are increasing of hitting target 2. Got very close. Got within about $1,200. So, yes, it's still increasing. If Bitcoin continues to follow MicroStrategy and they both hit target 4, then many people will be surprised again when price is below $80,000. Similarities in the post, similarities in below post, right? Let's check it out. Oh, cheat code. It feels like a cheat code, doesn't it? Oh, I'm going to need to go get some more water. Look at that cheat code. MicroStrategy has felt like a cheat code for Bitcoin lately. This was December 19th, after the reversal candle. Posted it. Talked about it in the live streams, right? Posted about it. This isn't new. It looks identical to me outside. Here's the difference. I didn't see bearish divergence on the daily chart for MicroStrategy. There was bearish divergence on Bitcoin. Thankfully, the market sniper, the market makers, the market bosses, not the market snipers, gave us bearish divergence on Bitcoin again, right? They give us bullish divergence at the bottom. They give us bearish divergence at the top, and I greatly appreciate that. Yep. Covered reverse candle on the 21st. MicroStrategy has now hit 3 out of 4 targets downside. Both have a gap near the same area. Do you think BTC will hit similar targets to the downside as MicroStrategy? 33% say yes, 31% say no, 35% say maybe, baby. Programmed it in and it worked. Thank you. Cheat code. Programming in the cheat code. All right. So just watch this for 1 minute, 2 minutes, and I'm going to go get some more water. So. All right, I'm back. I think that was pretty quick. I had to go downstairs to get some more water. Keep going here. We got a lot to cover. So there we are. Calling it out as a potential to the downside. I don't think anyone else was this early. Maybe somebody else was pointing out the early warning signs, comparing MicroStrategy to hitting 3 or 4 targets. Some people still say you can't compare them. You can't compare them. One's a stock, blah, blah, blah. I disagree. MicroStrategy led the way to the upside, and that was an amazing swing trade, right? Amazing swing trade. And then MicroStrategy started leading to the downside. Thankfully. Thankfully, right? Oh my gosh. Thankfully. Oh, if the cheat code only could last like this forever, I always say we're not market makers. I'm not a billionaire. But if we kept getting cheat codes like this, it would just be a matter of time, right? So there we go. There we go. Woo! Cheat code. MicroStrategy has felt like a cheat code for Bitcoin lately. Still does. Still does. So with that, if you're not smashing the like on the live stream for that, and you're not sharing these charts with everybody, help me. I would appreciate it. All right. So now let's look at some of these altcoins. Then we're going to switch gears to the indices. And of course, the second half, we'll try to chart as many requests as possible. So Algo, right? Hit 4 out of 4 targets to the downside. XLM, trying to hold on. Will it hold on? The 4th target still has not been hit yet. If you took this buy, don't forget to hit either the sell or don't forget to put in your stop loss. Same with XRP, right? It's trying to hold on. It's trying to hold on. It's trying to hold on. So if you took this buy here, I wouldn't blame you because it was back above the trending dots. Just be aware that I posted about a pending sell on January 8th, got bought back up. Posted about a pending sell on January 9th. And then I believe on the 10th as well, I saw it. And then it closed back above and holding on. But if so it's getting close, right? It's getting close. This one, as of right now, I would imagine that it would go lower because of everything else. That's the way I'm tipping the scales. But it is also possible it creates bearish divergence like Bitcoin did and goes higher, right? So we're kind of somewhere in between. Somewhere in between. I'm not as right? Versus like Algo isn't somewhere in between where it's back above and looking for a breakout. It's back below the trending dots and already had multiple sell signals back over here. So looks a little bit different. Somewhere in between. H bar back into target 3. Could you close back below here, and probabilities are increasing that it could also hit target 4, right? Cardano back to the yellow line. I haven't looked at Rarible in a while. Yep, still correcting. Sand back to target 4. Mana probably back to target 4. Filecoin looks like it's probably back to target 4. Chainlink. I did post this one about Chainlink. What was it, back here? Back here? I don't know. Somewhere back here, I did post this that Chainlink did have a head and shoulders as well. And I don't know if it's going to play out or not. But if it does, it'd be sub $10, right? And it was $30. That's pretty massive. That's a big drop. 70%. I think many would call that a bear market for Chainlink. If it dropped that far. I'm not saying it's going to. You know my thoughts on patterns, but especially ones drawn by automatically by an algorithm. Algorithm. Head and shoulders, right? Breaking down. It's a daily chart. What does a 5-day chart look like? Yeah, see, you can see on a 5-day chart, this head and shoulders did not play out. So take it for what it is. But a 5-day chart also has a pending MACD bearish crossover. So it had a reverse candle, blah, 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 blah. But for every head and shoulders pattern that doesn't work out, I could find you one that does work out, right? It's probably 50-50 in the correct direction like it is right now, but maybe 30 to 35% chance that it actually hits the price target, in my opinion. The Bitcoin one, higher than 30 to 35% chance, in my opinion, because of it's sandwiched between the third and fourth target. So I think that percentage is higher now. I don't know what it is, but Solana has come down. I think this is target 5. This is target 4. And then back here, I added target 5, and now target 5 has just been hit. Target 5 gets hit less, so I don't always put it on. But this was target 4, and then I think that's when I added target 5, and it just got hit. Breaking news. Breaking news. So does that mean other altcoins are also going to go to target 5? Possible, right? So that's why the perma bulls, not really talking about Solana right now, down 36%. I'm sure there's still some that are, well, expect that, sure. But if you're never taking profits on a local top, how do you know when it's the top? Interesting, right? How do they know when it's going to be the top? They didn't have it figured out in 2021, and you're still not taking profits on a local top that turns into the top, right? Anyways, no need to keep beating a horse, right? Near. This is target 4, back below it. 200-week moving average, back below it. Doesn't look great, to be honest. 46.5%. Dot breaking down below target 4. Fetch. Theta, right? Gold. Ooh, gold. Yep. So someone was talking about it was looking it was starting to look really bullish. I was like, yeah, but it's been in this tight range for a while. This was a high. Will this be a lower high? Maybe. Will this be another lower high? But you just kind of see that it's consolidating. So we don't know. It's still consolidating, right? So we don't know exactly which way it's going to move yet, right? So there you go. There you go. Which way will it break? Which way? Which way? Uh, how many horizontal lines do I have? Silver, on the other hand, could be leading the way, and if it is breaking down from this longer upward trend line, and then you have a pending sell signal, maybe it starts to break down, and ends up coming back to the 200-week moving average. That is a possibility. If silver is leading the way, then it is possible, right? It is possible. What else? Nasdaq. Let's switch gears over here. Trending in the right direction. If you're talking about hitting target 2, right, or target 3, or target 4. I'm not going to draw them. I'm not going to draw them. But it's lower. It's lower. It's lower. What else? What else? What else? What else? I could probably take this off now. What else? What else? We're not even covering Bitcoin anymore. So Nasdaq, this is the rising wedge, right? Rising wedge pattern. And there you go. Could be below $20,000. Target 3, target 4. 200-week moving average is way down here. Way down there. So we'll see what happens. SP 500 breaking down, getting closer to target 2. Dow Jones is already hit target 2, most likely. If not, yeah, probably target 2. Russell 2000's already hit 4 out of 4 targets to the downside. Breaking news. The Russell 2000 seemed like it was leading the way again and has already hit 4 out of 4 targets to the downside and is closing in and getting closer and closer to the 200-week moving average. So we'll see what happens. The dollar still remains bullish, still remains in an upswing overall, right? Still uptrend, no matter how you look at it. Still an uptrend over there. Still on the daily chart. Then you look at the weekly chart. Ultra bullish on the weekly chart. It was ultra bullish here for a while, right? Remained above the trailing dots for a while. We don't know if it's going to or not. Monthly chart. Bounced, had a buy signal, and still bullish. Bounced, and then ran, right? So we don't know how far it goes. 5-day. You could play with all the time frames you want to play with, right? But the daily chart is what watching mostly, and that it remains in an uptrend over there. The VIX, been talking about it, been covering it, gapped higher, filling that gap. But we talked about this spike, left this $36 gap open here from this spike to $65. We are all over it back then. We are all over it. We are all over it. We are all over it. Covering it on the live streams pretty much every day back then. Talked about how this could be a higher low. Talked about the buy signal could be another higher low. Talked about this buy signal on the 7th. It's not good for stocks, right? It's not good for stocks. Trade each chart individually, but they, depends on which day it is. Mm-hmm. Just depends. Buster G, you got blocked on Twitter. Remember that? That was like a month ago. You got blocked. You've been following me and commenting for a long time, like 3 years, but I warned you and you crossed the line by saying one of my market snipers was feeding you information out of the Discord, and I confronted him, and he said no way, he would never do that. I never thought he would, but you said he did, and so I confront him because I would kick him out of the Discord if he was even if he was honest about it. Maybe I give him a second chance, but it's grounds for kicking someone out of the Discord if they're feeding information and stuff for free to other people. I have it cheap enough for most. So since you lied about it, I didn't know you were joking. You got blocked. Yeah, but don't know you're joking, and you could say you're joking in hindsight. So there you go. You could say you're joking in hindsight, but you crossed the line. So you'll probably get unblocked. But just want to make sure that it's not okay. It's not okay. So I'll probably unblock you. You've been following for a long time, but whether you're joking or not, you didn't make it like you were a joke. You made it as like, I'm getting the free information from the Discord anyways, right? Via text. So it's not okay with me. And I don't like that. So you got blocked. So, but I think you're learning your lesson, and I'll probably unblock you. There's always a lesson. There's always a lesson. So with that, I did confront a market sniper, and I trust him, and he said he didn't, so he's still in there. He's still good. What else? What else? What else? Market sniper giveth, the market sniper taketh. MicroStrategy. Speaking of MicroStrategy, well, we already kind of looked at it. Gap down a little bit today, kind of filled it back up. Still. What else? What else? Oh, let's go over to Magnificent 7. NVIDIA. Gap down today. I posted about it. Also has a head and shoulders pattern and a rising wedge pattern. So rising wedge and a head and shoulders pattern. So you got the rising wedge pattern over here at 113. You got the head and shoulders pattern over here at 110, 111. And then you have the MACD bearish crossover already happened. Of course, MACD is crossing the 0 line, which is another bearish milestone. So pending sell signal. My screen is black. It is? Can't see it? Can anyone else see it? Looks like I can see it on my side. No. Looks good to me. Check your internet. Check your internet. Well, it's you then, because on mine it right? Should be fine. Let's see. Yeah. No, I can see it. I can see it on Twitter. Check your internet. So yeah, should be good. Yeah, Alejandro, thank you. Yeah, it's all good. Yep. That's what I thought. Should be all systems go over here. So anyways, get back to it. Thank you, Alejandro. Appreciate that. Yeah. So back into target 2. Probabilities are increasing that NVIDIA is going to go lower. It's quietly. It was probably worth what, $3.5 trillion at the top. Quietly down 17% on a $3.5 trillion. That's like the whole crypto market, right? The entire crypto market is like the NVIDIA market cap. I think it's pretty close. So 17% of the entire market, right? I don't know. Yeah. So 4 to 4 targets, that's pretty big, right? It's pretty big. You've got gaps way down here. You got the 200-week moving average way down here. So there you go. We'll see. We'll see if target 3 and target 4 gets hit. Strike one, Buster G. Strike one. Strike two, strike three, strike four. There you go. There you go. Rising wedge, head and shoulders. Target two have been hit out of four. Meta. What's going on, Meta? Could be breaking down over here. Could be a lower high. We talked about it. We covered it. MACD, bear cross pending. Bearish divergence. Could be a sneaky lower high, right? Sneaky lower high on Meta. Amazon. That's the Amazon view. Oh, still playing out. Microsoft drew this out way back here for fun in November. Tesla. Yeah, bouncing today, but that's about it. Still well below the trailing dots. Apple, another one. I think, was this just the eyeball test or did I actually draw these? I can't remember now. But they look pretty close. I think I actually drew these ones because otherwise it would have looked a little crazier. So yeah, most likely target one's already been hit on Apple, right? Breakdown over here, bearish divergence, followed by a reverse candle, followed by a breakdown of the parabolic trend line. Now we're breaking down from up here. Doesn't mean it couldn't find support at target one, bounce, let the trailing dots catch up, and then continue downward, right? But Apple is breaking down and has hit target one, and so far, right? Google, similar thoughts. Yep, that's about it. That's about it over there on the Magnificent Seven. HODL and all the Bitcoin ETFs are going to look very similar to Bitcoin. Head and shoulders, breaking down, getting closer to target two, etc., etc., etc. So that's HODL and all the Bitcoin ETFs, right? Got a lot of gaps down here. You got a gap at 87, got a gap at 80, and you can see it's almost like it's very close to like Bitcoin pricing. So if Bitcoin was like 108, HODL was 121, right? So you can kind of see that the targets are similar. Like target two is like 88,000, and then target three is like $78,000 on Bitcoin. So it's kind of interesting. What else? What else? Should we look at some of the miners? There you go. Ooh, just crushed on Bitfarm. Last sell signal was over here on December 17th, just getting crushed. Last sell signal over here was December 18th on Marathon Digital. Came all the way back down to the gap and filled it. This gap has now been filled. Just crushed. CLSK. Filling gaps. Iris Energy hasn't filled that gap yet. We're going to make it. Hopefully this gap was filled, right? All these gaps were on here for 2 months, right? For 2 months, these gaps have been on there. I didn't just put them on there recently, right? You know that. You know that better. You know better than that. You got a gap right here, partially filled, not fully filled, partially. Hive. Oof. No breakout yet. What else? Anything else jumping out at us that we want to take a look at? How's the 10-year? Rates are going higher. Mortgage rates are going higher. A lot of people, Jesse, glad you're back streaming. Thank you. Thank you, Matt. Glad you're back here commenting and liking and reposting and sharing. I appreciate that. Right? Help me, help you, help me. It helps keep me motivated. So if we get those likes up higher and shares and all that stuff, I'll keep live streaming, right? But if they go back to like lower numbers, like if we're getting up in the 50 range, then I feel a lot better about it. But if not, then I start to lose motivation, right? It's a lot of energy and stuff like that, right? Because I look at all this stuff myself, but to go through it all and all that stuff is it's tiresome. But this is a 10-year yield, right? Uh a lot of people bought homes from like 2023, actually from like 2023, you could even say all the way back in here, right? And what happens is this is an actual long-term target box that I drew out a long time ago. But what happens is uh you get a lot of people buying real estate in here, and you'll get a lot of mortgage guys. I've seen it. Uh and realtors that, oh, you can just refinance and the payment will go down. Well, the payment will go down. Well, two things have to be true. Two things have to happen for that to be true. One, the rates have to go down, right? Number two, the equity has to remain. You can't, if you buy your house and you put 20% down or less, and then the market goes down 5, 10, 15, 20%, and you have no more equity in the house, uh, you can't refinance. So, A, the rates have to go down. B, the equity has to remain. Right now, depending on which part of the area you're in, some pockets have houses doing price reductions, right? Some houses are sitting on the markets for a long time. So, and some are not. Some are still trying to find its top. Uh, and some markets will decrease more than others, right? But two things have to be true. So I warned that I was no longer in mortgage and real estate. I got out when life was really good in mortgage and real estate in early 2021. Um, but I gave my advice because my wife's sister, uh, my sister-in-law, my wife's sister, and her husband were buying a condo in Florida, and they asked me what I thought. I said, "You're probably not going to want to hear what I think, but I remember 2009, 2010, 2011, and this will probably all wrap up back and tie back into stocks and stuff like that. So here we go. Bear with me. It's not a real estate channel, but uh, it's all connected. It's all connected. And I said we had a very, 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 very non-existent. We were not able to refinance people in need in 2010, 2011, 2012, when the rates went lower for people who had condos in Florida because the market dropped more than 50%, right? The market dropped more than 50%. Condos got hit the hardest in Florida. And I think housing dropped probably 50 to 70% for condos in Florida. And maybe there's pockets in Florida that did not get hit as bad. But anytime, one of the first questions I would ask was that, like, if I got a Florida uh, lead or a Florida referral, right? I would ask, is this a condo? Because we just our hand had touched the stove so many times. It was just like we didn't even want to go through the whole application process. It was like no bank wanted to touch Florida condos back then, and the prices were upside down. And so we couldn't even refinance them, even if they wanted to. We wanted to, and even if the rates were lower. So two things have to happen: the rates need to be lower, which they're increasing right now, and number two, you have to have equity. So uh, and it was a very small box. They came out with like the HARP loan, and we did a lot of refis on the government HARP loans, but it was a very small box to fit into it, and there wasn't a lot of condos that fit into that box. Thanks, Matt. Appreciate it. So the 10-year impacts mortgage rates. And don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure it impacts business debt as well. Pretty sure, pretty sure, pretty sure. I always say that. I say that every time because I've never I've never had to get a business loan, so I never really followed it closely. So I'm never 100% certain. But the 10-year does follow mortgage, or the mortgage rates follow 10-year yield. 10-year yield follows mortgage, the 30-year mortgage rates. They go pretty closely up and down. So 17 years in the mortgage world, with 100% confidence, I can tell you that mortgage rates are higher than they were in September. 100%. So does it mean you could buy down the rate for $30,000? Sure, but no, thank you. No, thank you. Uh, I always try to talk people. I tried to talk people out of that when I was in mortgage. I was like, wait, so to save 1%, you're gonna buy down the rate $30,000, or should you talk to your financial planner and put that $30,000 to go make 5 to 8%, right? Or they'd buy down the rate for $5 to $10,000 to save 1/4% or 1/8%, or you could go put that into a money market for 4 to 5%. I let them know I wasn't a financial planner, but you should go talk to a financial planner and go make money versus trying to save an eighth or 1/4% interest rate. So I just had a different view on it. If they still wanted it after that speech, I'd give it to them. I'm not going to turn it down. They'll just go to someone else anyways. What else? What else? So that's the 10-year yield. I don't. Let's see. This is November. I don't think the December data has come out yet. 30-year. Let's see. What else? TQQQ. TLT. Let's look at TLT. Yep. Still bearish on the weekly chart. Is this going to be a higher low at some point? Maybe. Too early to call it. Just like it was too early to call it back here. It's too early to call it right here. Did have an arrow pointing up here, and it did hit target 1. If this is a higher low on TLT and doesn't take out this pivot, then these targets are still valid in my opinion. If price does take out this low over here, then these targets are not still valid in my opinion. So there you go. Again, not financial advice, educational purposes only. So there you go. Could this be a higher low? We don't know. Oil. Breaking out on oil. Woo, look at that breakout. The weekly chart broke out, come back up for a retest on 200-week moving average on oil. Could it come back down, get rejected here, put in a higher low, and then go? Yeah, it's possible. Netflix, daily chart, MACD bearish cross pending. Daily chart, that was a weekly chart. Daily chart already was starting to break down. Natural gas. Woo. Wild animal. December. Okay. Maybe we'll look at it. Let's take a look at it. Housing inventory. Okay. Broke that trend line. Probably would switch it to log to get a more realistic trend line since comparing long term. But bankruptcies hasn't been updated. November. Loans and leases. December, right? Loans and leases and bank credit. Okay. What else? Overnight reverse purchase agreements. Unemployment rate, California. Probably haven't updated it. Not yet. Not yet for December. Unemployment rate, December, 4% for right now. They may adjust it. The hindsight crew, right? Commercial real estate, They haven't updated it since July. They really are lagging on updating that one. Pointing out over here, pointing out over here. Was this 30-year mortgage rate? Yep, almost 7%. So that's what I was kind of talking about over here. Almost 7%. 10-year real break-even inflation rate crossing over. What else? I think that's about it for that. How are we doing on the Bitcoin watch party? Getting a little bit of a bounce. A little bit. But we'll see how it closes. Still has, 6 or 7 more hours until the candle closes. See if we drop down the 1 hour chart. Probably a bounce on the 1 hour chart, right? Yeah, getting oversold on the 1 hour chart. Get a little bounce. See what happens. Okay. There you go. Bitcoin, big spike down to 90,000. We missed the watch party to hit the $90,000 right on the right time at 6 a.m. I was waking up with a baby. I can't be doing watch parties at 6 a.m. with a baby. No way. No way. No way. Getting a little bit of bounce on the 1 hour chart, right? But the daily chart is what it looks like. I think that's about it. Oh, all right. Let's switch gears over here. What else? What else? What else? Well, for starters, you get 2 indicators. There's some alerts, not from me doing trades or anything. I do post charts there, and then of course there's 60 plus hours of recorded coaching. So if you want to take a deeper dive, learn how to do it yourself, and you get 2 indicators that were built off of the strategy, stuff like that. So that's what you get. What else? MPL. MPL. Okay. Crypto. Coinbase, right? MPL. Okay. Yep. Not much really to report. This is the daily chart. So spiked up to about $39. Had the reverse candle. And then since that top over here, it's down 70%. So not much really to report other than that. And maybe you can kind of start drawing out a trend like that. And maybe you try to play a bounce or something. But overall, that trend is down since that peak of November 8th, right? Weekly chart, bearish as of right now. MACD crossing below the 0 line on the weekly chart. Monthly chart, breaking down, right? So going in the wrong direction. If you're a bull and you're holding, it's going in the wrong direction and has been since November 8th. So not much else I can really add value on that one for you, Robbie. So what else? What else? Anything else? Is that it? Is that it? Oh, Bitcoin dominance just won't crash. It's really delaying this altcoin season, right? We really just got this one nice November to December pump on like at least a half a dozen altcoins that are on my watch list, and then another half did a pretty good pump. But like Algo, XLM, XRP, HBAR, Cardano, all pumped very nicely from November to December. And mom cashed out on that one, right? She flipped 3,500 into 9,200. She's amazing. Spot, no leverage, right? Picking up seashells on the beach in Mexico, closing out positions, right? She's a different animal. She's a wild animal. She's living her best life, her best retirement life. Flipping, she flipped PayPal, she flipped Lemonade, she flipped, she flipped XLM, she flipped Algo, XRP, H bar. I think those four, right? Uh, yeah, all four of them. So, anyways, XLM did really good for her. Algo did really good for me, and then XLM, XRP, H bar, ADA, they all did pretty good. But Algo did really good for me. So, me personally. So, that's about it. What else? What else? What else? What else? Bitcoin dominance. How's it looking on the weekly chart? Hmm. Only one target so far, right? Only one target so far. We'll see what happens. We will see what happens. So you're saying there's no altcoin season quite yet. Just a mini season. We had one mini season. That was it. Ugh. So what else? Well, I'm not seeing too many requests. Keep going. Yeah. Been going. Ethereum. That's about it. Well, with that, hope everyone has a good rest of your day. Oh, Minnesota Vikings. Wish me luck today. Minnesota Vikings playing the Rams. Unfortunately, because of the fires in LA, the game got moved to Arizona, and they play at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time tonight. So wish my Minnesota Vikings and myself and my baby, because she's a fan, she doesn't know it yet, all the luck. And hopefully we win tonight, and then we will be traveling. If we win, we'll be traveling to Philadelphia. So from Minnesota to Arizona, and then back to Philadelphia, and then who knows after that. So with that, hope you have a good rest of your day, and we'll continue sniping the markets together. Help me, help you, help me with the algorithms, and we'll continue onward from there. Thank you. Have a good one. Adios.